You're watching Journeyman Dan. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.
After a short visit in Lucknow, Varanasi was my first full immersion into India. To be specific, the province of Uttar Pradesh. The different regions of India have different environments, histories, cultures, languages, and religions. It is best to think of visiting each region of India as going to a slightly different country. Varanasi is in the northeastern part of the country along the holy Ganges River. The city is a center of culture and religion. Buddhism was founded nearby, and the city has been a center of Hinduism for over 1,000 years. There are many temples throughout the city, and people come to wash in the holy river. Ceremonies are performed along the river's edge, bodies are cremated, and sadhu and agori gurus can be seen in the area. Besides religious devotees, the city also attracts tourists from across the world. I'll talk a bit about the different things I saw and my overall impressions. The Riverwalk is one of the main places to visit. The walkways along the northern side of the river are lined by ghats, temples, old palaces, and some distinct buildings which are now hotels with rooftop restaurants. The ghats are stone slabs along the embankment of the river. Some lead to areas for ritual bathing, while a few are used as cremation areas. Some ghats offer space to perform pujas, which are Hindu ceremonies. Some of the ghats were first mentioned in history in the 5th century. The many ghats were built under the patronage of rulers from different dynasties over the centuries. The southern side of the river has a sandy beach area. Although a destination for tourists and the religious alike, I did not find the area too crowded. A steady flow of people can be seen wandering along the riverside. Hindu holy men sit at various points. Some of them painted and dressed up, keenly looking for tourists who will pay for a picture with them. Many people bathe in the river. Some are fully clothed, some stripped down to undergarments. Bathing in a holy river is for spiritual cleansing, but for the devoted, they also believe the river will provide physical healing. While some people splash themselves with water, others bring shampoo and go all in. A few foreigners take the dip, hoping and seeking to find something that has been missing from their spiritual quest. Most foreigners, however, look at the practice as the most unhygienic thing they have ever seen in their lives. The Ganges River is polluted with trash and sewage. Open public urinals are placed along the walkway. Sacred cows and street dogs defecate everywhere. Water runoff from the filthy alleyways above wash down into the river. Throughout the surrounding area, men urinate in public. At the same time, you can see people in the river drinking from it and rinsing out their mouths. I came across some people who I thought were burning trash. It turned out to be a body. They said not to take photos, so I walked away. People are cremated along the riverbanks and the ashes are dumped into the river. The funeral pyres are burning 24/7. It is believed that cremation at the holy sites here will allow the soul to escape the cycle of rebirth and attain salvation. Stillborn babies are not cremated and instead are thrown directly into the river. It was here that I first learned about the shocking Agori sect. Agoris reject all notions of taboos and good and evil. They live monastic, secluded lives, forgoing everything about life that is life. They spend time around cremation sites and cover themselves in ashes, either wearing a loincloth or absolutely nothing. One of their rituals is to eat flesh from the dead. I wasn't able to tell whether or not the men I saw along the walkways belonged to this extreme sect or not. Hinduism has so many iterations and practices that many people have a take-what-you-will approach, with everyone following their own variations. There are many temples along the river. I stepped inside a small side room in one of them while a priest explained to me that it was his family's temple that he now maintained as his father had before him.
Nilkant is the god of the poison spicy drinking. His straw is the changed color in the blue color. Name of the Nilkant. This god of the background is the good person of the day. God in householding, this god of the king. Is the king of Harishan, as I put it here. Every day is come and pray to God.
During the evening, one of the main attractions is witnessing a Ganja Arti, a Hindu ceremony performed at a ghat along the Ganges. A mix of Indians and foreign tourists gather around sunset time by a ghat. Dashashwamedh Ghat is the main place to witness a puja. I was merely told that there was a ceremony and some waving around of fire. A different ceremony is performed elsewhere, but the one I ended up at was a very interesting experience. 7 priests start out singing. They then have someone from the audience pull on strings attached to bells. The bell ringing goes on non-stop for the next 40 minutes. I'm not sure what role the very loud bells have, but I suppose it is a way of drowning out distractions. The priests go through a series of objects, waving them around in a synchronized pattern facing each direction. I was able to stand behind the platform ledge of the priest and get up-close video footage. At first, it was just me and a photographer and videographer, but over the course of the hour-long ceremony, more people became emboldened, and soon a whole crowd was in my place taking cell phone pictures and videos. There are a few large boats docked by the ceremony. I believe people paid money to sit there, but their view wasn't better than the people who stayed by the public chairs and steps up above to watch. The priests throw some flowers into the river at the beginning. They wave peacock feathers, yak-tail fans, incense sticks, several different metal devices with candles and oil burning, and occasionally threw some flowers in the air. It is visually interesting, but the bell ringing is quite irritating after a while. They also blew into some white small horns at 2 points. The event has a bit of a tourist performance vibe to it, but it is also a sincere, devout, religious ceremony. Although some of the priests looked rather bored. It is visually engaging and designed in a way to draw in an audience. It works. World travelers come and observe it. Although, going through this on a daily basis, I imagine the novelty wears off. Novelty is the main attraction to this area for foreign visitors. The architecture, the river, the location, the history, the odd men dressed in orange and are painted with ashes is striking. Never have I felt further away from the familiar. I think I felt what travelers must have experienced decades and centuries ago when they went to visit foreign places. A complete immersion into the new and unfamiliar. The very thing that excites and attracts travelers. Despite the pollution-hazed sky, the filth, and shocking local practices, Varanasi stands out as a destination for adventurous travelers. With such a connected, globalized world, this kind of environment and experience is difficult to come across. While walking by the river and getting lost in the adjoining alleyways, I thought about all the unrealized potential for tourism. Some simple steps to improve hygiene and the environment would go a long way to boosting tourism. However, are we really looking for places that are designed for tourists? Or are we looking for very real places and experiences? As a traveler, it is an easy answer, but as a human, one has to look at the poverty and condition of the people here and recognize a need for improvement. At the end, the whole crowd joined in a song. Then a few people lit candles and flower leaf pads and floated them onto the water. A fun little thing for tourists to do. I had been led to believe that the river would be filled with floating candle-lit flowers, creating a spectacular visual. It turned out to be just a few tourists doing it, and it was quite underwhelming. On another evening, make sure to take a boat ride at sunset. Though the sky is quite hazy, it is still relaxing and very beautiful. Our boat was rowed by an uneducated 12-year-old boy. My friend made him promise he would go to school. Somehow, despite over 1,000 years of being a center for religious studies and being the holiest city of the third largest religion, the region has a literacy rate in the bottom third of the world. Varanasi started my introduction to a part of the world I knew little about and connected me to the heritage of ancient civilizations, unique culture, and the most exotic and different place my Western eyes had yet to come across.